Okay. I'm gonna go over our drills. I'm gonna touch on icky shuffles first. So the one where we set out 6 cones, and we're moving, changing direction, moving, changing direction. The icky shuffle wouldn't be the only way to do this, but by doing icky shuffles, you're keeping your hips in the same direction, and you're keeping high foot ground contacts. So, um, if I was to do the drill and I was to run, I was to change direction about a yard or two, and then keep going, that's going to take more time, and my hips are going to change this way, so they'd be susceptible if I wanted to keep them facing this way. So um, you're able to keep the same hip direction, and you're able to keep foot ground contacts. So better than this, right? I could also do this. I could run, and take a big step, and then keep going, right? So that time, my hips stayed the same, but I lost that foot ground contact. So if I was changing direction like this to keep my receivers, covering that 3 yards, 2 yards, just with a big kind of lunge step, I guess. What we risk is if this was the person I'm cutting and they button back right as I'm halfway through my movement, I'm committed and I'm 2 steps behind now. But if I was moving and I did an icky shuffle, okay? So I'm moving this way, I icky shuffle. Now that I'm in this position, if they were to go that way, it's no problem. I'm ready to go with them. I'm not committed. My hips are still neutral, or the direction I've chosen to have them. I'm not committed with my momentum, and I can choose either direction, or I can keep going. So that's kind of the benefits of the icky shuffle. So that drill, we'd be running, changing direction, or crossing the plane, right, with that 1-2 step, 1-2 step, 1-2 step, 1-2 step. That should make sense. Here's our command your cutter drill. About try and get at least 20 yards, but if we have 15, that's okay too. That way the under is maximized, right? So with this drill, alternate which side, or get reps coming from both sides, right? So we'd set up our cut. This is kind of like taking the stage, which we talked about. Come, set up your cut, break down. The thrower's going to call out under or out. Deep works as well, so under or deep. And this cutter responds, right? So it's okay as the thrower if you let them stick their medial leg weight transfer. So if this person came from this side, their left leg would be medial, so they'd boom, stick there. Maybe you give them just like a millisecond, half a second. Once they do that, then you call it. Then you say out. And then we're going to be practicing getting in a medial leg position that we can truly go either way, okay? So make that our focus. And then we can progress that a bit so that you run out, you hit it, they call out, you take 3 hard steps, and then under. You hear under, then you react again and you come under, okay? So that's more game realistic, right? Because maybe you hit someone with a little medial leg shimmy here. You think the under's still the best option, so you try and get them to commit their hips. They do. Now you can go under, right? Sorry if the camera's shaky. That's my bad. Now leading out throws. So if this person was throwing, this was a righty, and they were throwing flick, probably be about 5 yards over. You'd release the throw before they're a meter in front of you, so imaginary line there. This person makes this cut. This person's throwing it. You might have to throw it really early, but you might wait a step or two. But what you're doing is... No, sorry, that doesn't make sense. You're throwing it early. You're not waiting a step or two. You're throwing it before they cross the line. So you throw it before they cross the line, but the yardage you might be throwing might be 10 yards, might be 20 yards, might be 30 for some people, but the focus is that it's staying below 6 feet. It's catchable throughout, so this person could just tack it at any point, and you're trying to get maximum distance, okay?
Sorry for almost not explaining it right. Okay. And then rotation for that would just be maybe this person jogs back. If it's not super windy, you could follow your throw. If you have a third person, they could be here, and then they could then make the cut, and you could run it like a continuous thing. Whatever works for your numbers.